Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn a beautiful poem called When I Set Out for Lyonnesse. Lyonnesse is a country near Cornwall in southwest England, supposed to have been submerged in the sea, and also the mythical birthplace of Sir Tristram. The poem When I Set Out for Lyonnesse was written by Thomas Hardy. Once Thomas Hardy visited a parish to supervise the restoration of a church. On his return, people noticed two things about him. There was a new glow in his eyes. There was also a piece of paper peeping out of his coat pocket. This paper had the draft of the present poem When I Set Out for Lyonnesse. It's a poem of 4 stanzas. Let me start with the first one, which is like this. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away, the rime was on the spray, and starlight lit my lonesomeness. Let us start with the hard words. Set out is started. And Lyonnesse, as I already told you that it's the name of the country near Cornwall in southwest England, supposed to have been submerged by the sea. Rime is a frost, in essence, ice. Spray is a leaves, lit, lighted. Lonesomeness is the feeling of being lonely. As per the first paragraph, the first stanza of the poem, the poet started for Lyonnesse, which was 100 miles away. It was very cold then. The leaves were covered with a frost, in essence, ice. It was a lonely journey in the light of stars alone. The second stanza. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away, what would be chance at Lyonnesse while I should sojourn there? Be chance is happening. Sojourn is like a temporarily staying, temporary stays. Here the poet says, when he set out for Lyonnesse, it was a place of 100 miles away. When the poet started his journey, nobody could predict the happenings during his stay there. I guess it's very simple and very easy poem. The third stanza is like this. No prophet durst declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess what would bechance at Lyonnesse while I should sojourn there. Prophet is a seer. Durst, it is a past form of a dare. Wizard, magician, and bechance is happening. Okay. As per this stanza, during the poet's stay at that church, something happened there. It was However, something which no one had expected. The prophet could not have predicted it, nor a magician could have guessed it. Such an amusing experience the poet had there. When I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes, all marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and fathomless. When I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes, a returned is come back. Magic is a glamour or a charm. Marked, notice, or observe. Mute is a silent. Surmise is expectations. Radiance is a glow. Rare is very uncommon. Fathomless, so deep that the depth cannot be measured. As per this stanza, the poet says, when the poet returned from the church, there was a glamour in his eyes. All the people silently marked this rare glow and bottomless depth in his eyes. This happened as he returned after supervising the restoration of the church from Lyonnesse with charming eyes. The poet says that he had gone for the restoration for a church. When he started, hardly knew that the visit would be so invigorating, in a sense strong. It proved to be like visiting Lyonnesse. He had left for the Paris all alone, a very cold evening. The parish was 100 miles away. The foliage was covered with the frost. The stars guided his lonesome path. He had to stay at the parish for some time. In that short period, he found something happening to him. It was an inner change which was sudden and unexpected. The poet says that at the start of his journey, at the start of his journey, no one could think of such a change in him, and no prophet or wizard could have guessed the happening there. When the poet returned from the parish, everyone noticed a glow in his eyes. They did not speak a word, however, they were impressed by the rare and deep radiance of his eyes. And when he came back, there were two things were noticed, as I said you earlier. There was a new glow in his eyes, and there was also a piece of paper peeping out of his coat pocket. This paper had the draft of the present poem, When I Set Out for Lyonnesse.